Hey everybody, today I want to talk to you about two poles of the same issue, forgiveness and unforgiveness. I think we all know people who have great difficulty forgiving other people. We might even have difficulty forgiving an organization that we think has wronged us. Maybe we've been fired by someone. The bottom line is, unforgiveness is toxic to our bodies. My wife said that unforgiveness is like drinking poison and then waiting for somebody else to die. That's the effect it has on us. In fact, forgiveness is letting someone off the hook. Nobody wants to do that, but it's finding out that the person you let off the hook, it's you. Forgiveness, unforgiveness. Realize that even graphologists can determine unforgiveness based on your handwriting. If you write with long prop-up lead-in strokes to a letter, so this is rigid stroke coming in, that is a sign of somebody who's holding on to unforgiveness that has now gone on to become resentment. And the longer that lead-in stroke to letters, the further it goes, the further this resentment goes into the past in their lives. Clearly not a great way to live. Unforgiveness is definitely tied to different types of illness. In fact, stress in general will cause problems in our health. There are all sorts of mental states, though, that can make us ill. Some mental attitudes are connected to cancer. And resentment and unforgiveness are definitely connected to, in my opinion, arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis. When I was working with clients back in the 1990s, if the person had big knotted knuckles because their hands were cramped with arthritis, very often I would find the unforgiveness, resentment stroke in their handwriting, if not every single time. This is such an important thing because for our own mental and physical health, we have to learn to forgive. But over and over, people say, I can't forgive him after what he did to me. Are you kidding? I'm never going to forgive that SOB, whatever. Maybe you should think in terms of using a different word. Instead of forgive, I would tell my clients, release him. Now, when you release someone, you are in no way condoning their bad behavior. Perhaps a person has been abused or treated terribly by someone else. Could be a family member, could be a friend, it doesn't matter. The bottom line is, when you determine to release them, guess what happens? You let yourself off the hook, as I said earlier. You are not condoning their bad behavior, you're not putting any stamp of approval on it, but you are letting go of them out of your life. Primarily, anything we focus on will tend to dominate our thoughts. And when we do not forgive another human being, we put ourselves in a straitjacket. We minimize our own powers for creativity, moving forward in life, and we'll subject ourselves to undue stress, especially the endocrine system of the body. We get adrenaline trickles and rage and irritation. You have to learn to forgive, or you have to learn to release people, to let them go. Now, realize when you forgive someone for something horrendous they've done, you in no way have to go back into the cage with that tiger. If someone rips you apart, you don't have to say, okay, I forgive him, everything's the same as normal. If that person doesn't repent, doesn't make things right, keep them out of your life. I think you got to fire people periodically. Very toxic people are dangerous, and they'll build your resentment more if you're in their presence. But suppose you do choose to forgive. It's noteworthy that all the great religions of the world have forgiveness in their heart. Christianity, you have to forgive. Buddhism, you have to let these things go to not accrue bad karma. All the main religions teach forgiveness. But how are you going to do it? It's a difficult thing. If you feel you cannot forgive someone, it can be very hard to make those important steps. But I'm going to show you a technique. This is a remarkable technique that will enable you to quickly discharge negative emotions of unforgiveness and resentment before it becomes bitterness and you're really in a bad strait. And don't let it affect your health by going that far. So here's the methodology. This really comes out of Chinese medicine. There's 6 different points on the body I want you to tap in sequence. The first one is the very center of the top of your head. Oh, by the way, you don't have to believe in any of this. It just works. So the very center of the top of your head, you tap there like that. The second one is in the center of your forehead. So put your hand with your fingers in a line. The third one is in the outer corner of the bony part of your eye. Tap there. You're sure to hit it. If you're sort of in the area, it'll work. The next one is directly under the eye on the bone of the cheek, close to the eye. The next one is just under the edge of the collarbone. I don't want to hit the microphone here, but under the edge of the collarbone on either side, as always, just off the middle. And the last one, squeeze your wrist. You're hitting 5 different meridians by doing this, and hold. Take a deep breath and relax. So let's say there's somebody you think you absolutely cannot forgive. Remember, it's a decision, it's a choice, and over time you can forgive anyone, but this method will help you depotentiate all the bitterness very, very quickly. Forgiveness is a choice. It's a decision. The feelings will follow later. So make that decision. Every time the unforgiveness comes up, use this treatment. So let's say I get a friend called Roy, and I can't stand Roy. And the reason I'm picking Roy is because I don't know anybody by that name. So I get a friend called Roy. I can't stand him because we used to be good friends, and he's done this and that, and he's made my life hell, and he's said bad things about me, and I just think, I got to get this guy out of my life. But then I find out over time, I'm thinking about him a lot. Things are reminding me about him, and I feel myself getting tense and wound up when I think of him. I know I'm carrying resentment and unforgiveness towards him. So what I do is you do this. You say, I forgive Roy. I let Roy go. I release Roy. I forgive Roy completely. I let him go. I don't want any unforgiveness. I let it go. I choose, microphone. I choose to forgive. I let him go. I let Roy go. I release him. And then check. How do you feel? Is there any unforgiveness left? You can start by seeing out of 10 how bad it is, and then you can notice the number coming down. If you say, when I think of Roy, I get an 8 out of 10 in resentment and unforgiveness, do the tapping. See what's the number now? Or you can do it with size. My unforgiveness is this big. Do a round of tapping. It's about this big. Do it again. It's about this big. Do it again until it goes to 0. Take it to 0. You may get rid of it completely in one session. Or maybe months later, something will come up and someone will tell you about Roy and it'll set you off a bit. You go, okay, it's not come back to that 8 that it was. It's about a 2. Do it again. I let go of Roy. I let go of all the unforgiveness towards Roy. I let it go completely. I release him from my life and I let him go. 0 again. When you do this consistently, guess what will happen? All of these negative emotions will become discharged and you will get better and better and better. And you'll avoid the negative emotions affecting your physical body and maybe shortening your life. But there's another level to this. Remember I said forgiveness is a choice? It's not a feeling. The feelings will follow later. If you consistently do this, even in the worst cases of rage that's almost become hatred towards someone, you can let go of this. The consistency of doing this will discharge it. It's an amazing thing. Now, suppose you've done it and you're feeling better. You got rid of the unforgiveness. Now, let's go to forgiveness. Let's go to the other side. We're going to now go to the back of your hand, between the ring finger and the baby finger, either hand. There's a channel here, about 2 fingertips wide. Just tap there, firmly, repeatedly. Or you can do it like this, and now you're going to say something empowering. I'm a person who forgives. I let go of the past. I feel fantastic. The past is gone for me. I've moved on. I'm empowered. I'm loving my life now. I've let go of all those people. I'm awesome. 30 to 40 seconds, breathe. You'll feel amazing. You'll literally feel a tingling going through your body and through your spine. This is powerful. This puts in the positive after you take out the trash. So do not let unforgiveness fester in your life. It can kill you. It will make you have a life that sucks, to use the medical term. Depotentiate it. Let go of it consistently, deliberately, and I promise you the feelings will follow, especially if you had the positive install at the end of it all.